So we're talking about Mason Mount, the esteemed Chelsea midfielder who seems to have become a favorite among managers, yet raises eyebrows among a significant number of fans. Some might say he's the teacher's pet of football, but why is he in such high demand among football clubs, not just in England, but worldwide? Love football content on YouTube? If yes, hit that like button and subscribe to Football Insanity for weekly videos. In 2021, under the management of Thomas Tuchel, Mount excelled at ball progression. Essentially, he was adept at transitioning the ball from the midfield into the final third of the field. While he was a decent progressive passer, often passing sideways, he wasn't the leading creative force in a Chelsea team that wasn't particularly goal-heavy during Tuchel's tenure. Mount's passing range is commendable, and he's got a deft touch when it comes to striking the ball. He's a tireless box-to-box midfielder with a strong engine. Although he may not be the most dominant passer, he can serve as an effective secondary creator. He might not be your first choice for orchestrating plays from the midfield, but he's a solid backup option. However, when managers truly appreciate him, it's not just for his on-ball skills, but also for his defensive contribution, especially when it comes to making a defensive impact and disrupting the opposition's plans. Mount excels. He's more than an average on-ball creator. His real strength lies in his off-the-ball actions. He's a nuisance for the opposition, excellent at initiating the pressing from deeper positions. In essence, he can transform from a box-to-box midfielder to a quasi-number 10, disrupting the opponent's deep-lying midfielder. That's why managers and clubs want him. His ability to transition roles and disrupt plans makes him invaluable. Mount has an uncanny ability to set midfield traps and skillfully avoid opponents' traps by dodging cover shadows, disrupting many aspects of the opposition's game. If we talk about his weaknesses, aerial duels aren't exactly his forte. While he often tries to jump for the ball, he can be out-muscled in the air. Let's give him a year or two to grow stronger through training and game minutes. Speaking of growing, where did this lad come from anyways? Mason Mount, born on January 10, 1999 in Portsmouth, England, was seemingly destined for football from the start. His father, Tony Mount, was a player and coach at a non-league level, and it was under his guidance that Mount took his first steps into sport, playing for his local team, Vosper's Oak Villa. At the tender age of 6, he joined the football academy at Portsmouth, but he soon caught the eye of several larger clubs, including Chelsea. Chelsea's academy is renowned for its ability to develop talent, and by the age of 9, Mount was signed to the Chelsea Youth Academy, a place known for grooming some of the best young talent in England. Mount spent a decade in the Chelsea Academy system, honing his skills and rising through the ranks. His dedication to the sport and exceptional talent was evident from an early age, and he consistently stood out amongst his peers. He played a key role in Chelsea's youth team's successes, including victories in the FA Youth Cup and UEFA Youth League. Recognizing the need for first-team experience, Chelsea loaned Mount out to Vitesse in the Netherlands for the 2017-18 season. The experience proved invaluable. Playing in a different league under a different style of football, Mount flourished. He scored 14 goals and registered 9 assists in all competitions, and his performances earned him the Vitesse Player of the Year award. For the 2018-19 season, Mount was loaned to Derby County in the English Championship, where he played under the management of Chelsea legend Frank Lampard. This experience was crucial in his development. Lampard, a midfield maestro in his own right, was instrumental in helping Mount improve his game. In the 2019-20 season, Mount finally got his chance to play for Chelsea's senior team, now managed by Lampard. He made an immediate impact, demonstrating that he was indeed ready for the Premier League. His exceptional performances not only established him as a key player for Chelsea, but also earned him a call-up to the England national team. While he is an efficient piece of a well-functioning team, he's not the kind who can single-handedly transform a struggling side. I'd describe him as a floor-raiser player, someone who strengthens the base of the team rather than one who pushes the team to its ultimate potential. Looking at his stats from this season, not many Chelsea players had a great 2022-23 season, and Mount was no exception. He had fewer touches in the final third, carried the ball less, and shot less, all of which indicate a decrease in his offensive contributions. In a Chelsea team, this seems to be a confusing mix of styles and components, with managers like Frank Lampard and Graham Potter not being able to formulate a clear plan. Mount is struggling a bit, but this doesn't take away from his potential, and top-tier teams are likely eyeing him as a prospective recruit. Overall, he's an above-average player for creative roles on the ball in the Premier League, and he is exceptional in his defensive roles off the ball. This could make him a valuable asset for many Premier League teams, including some of the top 6 contenders. For example, if we were to place Mount in Liverpool's lineup, we can see his potential fit under Jurgen Klopp's system. Alexander-Arnold advances from the right-back position to form a midfield box with Fabinho and others, while Cody Gakpo often drops deep. He could potentially fill this role, providing a fresh dynamic to the team. Imagine having players like Diaz and Salah nearing the penalty area, and someone with the defensive acumen of Mount covering space when Trent Alexander-Arnold pushes forward. He could also fit into a midfield setup designed to aggressively win the ball, thus allowing players like Gakpo, Diaz, Salah, or even Jota to play higher into the opponent's penalty area. In a setup where Jones makes way for Henderson and moves over to the left half space, there could be an effective playing relationship established with the likes of Andrew Robertson and Diaz. Remember, Mount has an affinity for the half space and has capability to switch to play over to the right side for the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold or Salah. Now, let's consider Arsenal's setup from their 3-1 victory over a Chelsea team lacking Mount. In that game, Arsenal managed to pass through Chelsea's central midfield with surprising ease, as no one could really manage to contain Odegaard, who scored twice. If he had been there, Lampard might have instructed him to make life difficult for Odegaard. So how would it work if Mount became Odegaard's teammate? Well, what could happen is this. Mount, similar to Bukayo Saka, could serve as a secondary playmaker to Odegaard, while also feeding balls to the likes of Saka or aiding forwards like Lacazette or Martinelli. Consider a passing triangle involving Tsigankov, Mount, and Martinelli. This would offer energetic contributions from Mount and Martinelli, direct attacking play from Martinelli, and defensive security with Tsigankov being able to drop deep. Such a setup would certainly result in an interesting rotation, and could potentially add a whole new dimension to the team's style of play. Mount's ability to neutralize the opponent's playmakers is one of the attributes that appeal to managers such as Arteta, Southgate, Tuchel, Lampard, Potter, and the litany of other managers that have seen him play at Chelsea. As to where his future lies, it remains uncertain. He hasn't yet extended his contract with Chelsea, which is due to expire in 2024. If you're an astute football analyst, you might look at Chelsea's recent heavy spending and consider that selling a player like him could generate a significant profit and help the club stay within the financial fair play regulations. On the other hand, if you're a passionate Chelsea supporter who appreciates their youth academy, you might detest the idea of selling Mount, considering his significant contributions, such as assisting in the Champions League final. For a team like Liverpool, he could be a valuable addition to their 4-3-3 setup, potentially filling a role similar to that which Adam Lallana held a few years ago. For Arsenal, he could add some extra defensive security and alleviate some of the attacking burdens off of players like Aubameyang, though it might mean losing a player like Granit Xhaka. Mount, while being above average in the attack, may not have Xhaka's long-range passing ability. However, one of the intriguing aspects of his game is his well-roundedness. He excels in numerous areas, has few weaknesses, and is adept at performing actions that may not always be noticed by the cameras. Moreover, he's a great character off the pitch as well, which adds to his appeal. This appeal was noticed by United. In the 2023 postseason, Chelsea swiftly rejected a £40 million offer from the Red Devils for the midfielder, and are holding out for at least £70 million. But United are determined to get their man, and in May, Mailsport reported that United want to pay in the region of £55 million. Mount is a favorite among managers and a player of interest for several Premier League teams. Therefore, it's certainly worth keeping an eye on his transfer situation in the upcoming summer, and hopefully, for many years to come.